Greetings, I am Lies.
And I am Scandal.
And let's play a game together.
Yes.
Alright, so it always, whenever there's a pause, like, because we do these episodes in chunks, I come back to things, and if there was something really cool that we just finished, I go, oh yeah, I remember that really cool thing that we just finished.
And it was really cool.
And I love that they're actually, like, basically he's a nerd, which they're using geek for nerd, but that's fine.
Yes.
I was gonna say, and that he's actually like, I use technology to protect myself, and I'm not a big fan of, it's because of the bullying.
Right.
But again, this sort of looping back around and going, it makes sense that I have this.
Right.
Because I did it for me, and it's relevant to you, and so I'll share it with you as a friend, which is so refreshing also for a male character.
Yes.
Which, as far as I understand, he is cast ultimately in a completely friend role.
Yes.
Because that was in the Play Store.
God, so many people were complaining about it too. It was
Why
wild.
can't I date my friend?
Why
And I'm
can't
like,
date Mark? And it's like, apparently Mark is a really nice guy. Though again, I will say his gatekeeping to begin with was a little bit frustrating.
Mm-hmm.
And also, that doesn't mean eventually, like, you can't change behaviors or that people can't alter. Or
Mm-hmm.
that eventually, like, you basically move beyond those sort of behaviors and become someone else. I know my friend looked like he wanted to say something. Go
Oh,
ahead.
I was just gonna say, it's one of those things sometimes though, if you've been really isolated,
Yeah.
you can have the kinds of behaviors that you'll pick up, again, that can be abrasive from like media.
Right.
As well, and then as you start making friends outside of your in circle or whatever,
Yes.
you get more linguistic awareness.
Yes, absolutely.
At any rate, and it happened to record Cindy putting stuff in your locker, Vern.
It's not that surprising. We all assumed it was Cindy.
But you didn't know it was Cindy.
That's
and
different.
That's a really important difference, actually.
Oh.
Like it
That's
is.
true. No,
In
I mean,
all
we all
things.
just knew it, so it is the thing it was.
Or
Or,
there.
Jonathan, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a relief that we finally found the culprit.
Nice to know that
Hi.
it wasn't Jonathan, and up in your stuff again.
And also going, where is he? Thank you, Mark.
Let's just say that Ben killed him.
I actually was like, you wonder why the car is so quiet? It was fed recently. It only
Exactly.
purrs when it's interested in something.
When it's hungry. Like snakes
Uh-huh.
get really active when they're hungry kind
Yeah,
of thing.
pretty much.
So the car is very quiet when it's, very satisfied. And then it starts making noise, starts interacting when it needs something.
Yeah, pretty much. You go, yeah, you want it to be quiet because otherwise it'll eat you.
And you've got, Ben going, mostly I take care of this on my own, but, he was right there. And
He
he's
was.
clearly a creepy scum shadow monster, so it was fine.
Clearly a creepy scum shadow monster, but he was right there.
Yes! Car! Interesting.
Yeah.
Has eaten it. It's fine. Just kind of like
Uh-huh.
grumbles a little bit until it processes and fine.
Uh-huh.
Vroom!
It feels great, excellent.
Feels great, beautiful.
Thank-
Oh, not even vroom, just swoosh. Quietly
it can
away.
make any sound.
Right.
Yep. Thank you, Mark.
So, what are you gonna do about it, Vern?
Honestly, I don't really care anymore.
I
What?
just want to
That
get
was a
away
week
from...
ago.
Okay, so I actually get that differently. Like, I can see the whole vapid, I don't really care anymore, but for me, like, with the way you've been building Vern and
Uh-huh.
discussions we've had, I really get an experience of going, I just want it to go away and have things be good.
And I could see
Solidly,
that. I'm
so
just,
much.
I wasn't exactly thinking that. I was just like, why are you dropping it? But I know, like, you're terrified of everything. And also, again, want to, like, make everybody else feel good while you're the one who's basically in the corner going, I feel terrible about my life. And I've had this other guy invade in on my space and I don't know what I'm doing. And my friends are just sort of sitting here watching me as I sort of go through this weird relationship with
Uh-huh.
this guy where it's this isolationist thing where I keep trying to kick my friends away because I'm supposed to.
Because that's how relationships work, and it's a good relationship if you get a lot of alone time together.
Yes.
And otherwise, it's not, and it'll have problems like it did before.
I always thought that behavior was weird because I even saw that. So when I was a kid in middle school,
Mm-hmm.
I remember seeing people do that, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Like I saw people do it in elementary school, and it
Okay.
was so strange.
So real quick, one of the things I know. Okay, so I know in a lot of romantic fiction, there's a massive amount of isolationist fantasy, and I don't know if it's like basically a self-perpetuating cycle of it's in real life and it's in fantasy because it's in real life and it is more in real life because it's in fantasy.
Right.
But there is this experience that I knew all the time where people can get along really well when they are by themselves.
Right.
And then they don't get along as well in groups. And instead of having the awareness to troubleshoot that or to look at what that necessarily is,
Right.
they go, we just need to be alone so everything works so well.
Right.
And it's sort of like our relationship works so well when none of you or you aren't here. So now that you're here and it's not working well for reasons I don't necessarily have language for or conscious awareness of, I need you to go away so it works well again.
Right.
And so there is that level of it sort of perpetuating itself if you don't continue to have education and awareness, one about communication and about troubleshooting relationships and about being in relationships in general.
Which is actually one of those things why we as Let's Players, and also just as we as people in the world, have always found it to be really bad when people go, let's start censoring media. And it's like, don't censor media. And also, but because the thing is that they are supposed to inspire basically conversations, and we should be talking about our media. Like, it's very uncomfortable for both of us when anybody starts talking about let's censor crap. Like, there's a couple of things going on with Patreon where they did kick off like a bunch of adult artists. And I know not everybody really cares, but it's been very frustrating for those people because they're like, you're equating us to the same as stuff that is truly terrible and of real people, where we are fictionalized
cartoon or illustrative artists, which is
and
not the same as like photography video of real people at all. And there's this thing of basically, while the censoring of media is definitely a controversial conversation because people go, but there can be horrible things in there. There's also this level of going, if you start telling the masses blanketly that they cannot create except under certain rules, you're getting into this really aggressive, people can't be informed, people can't make choices for themselves. We're not going to educate people on what we want from them and what we find to be good and edifying. We're going to just stop them and shut it down.
Right. You actually start running, at least in our experience, that risk of actually, so let's say you try to censor the internet because you're trying to protect kids, right? And the kids therefore have no exposure to this, and suddenly, the second they become an adult, which is a conversation we've actually had before, suddenly they're inundated with all of this conversation and all of this information and all of this, basically, as it were, porn fandom almost.
That they've never been exposed to ever before.
Yep. And then suddenly they have to deal with it. And then they have people that approach them and go, oh, hey, let me basically engage in grooming behavior, which those people do using material that the kids have never seen before, because that's what those people are doing, not the material itself. And the kid doesn't know what to do with it because they've never had it before.
So somebody actually made a really cool breakdown, and we're going to try and wrap this up so we can keep the game moving forward in just a moment here.
Right.
Where they said basically, if kids are protected from all things sex, sexual, and sexuality, then but those things nonetheless exist in their society.
Yes.
They're going to be aware that those things are there, but everyone's telling them, no, you can't engage with this. So the adults that are going to go, oh, sure, I'll bring you in. Oh, I will treat you like an adult. Oh, you're so mature for your age.
Oh, wow.
The ones that actually are interested in predating the kids are going to have more access to do so by going, I will give you access to the thing that everyone else says you can't have access to that's only for adults. Like, you're not too immature to handle it.
Right, like I said, engaging more in grooming behavior because, hey, they don't know how to defend themselves, they don't know any boundaries or rules or explanations.
And again, big conversation, a lot there, but it's one of those things of just censoring information in neither of our opinions is the answer.
Yes.
And that, like burning books is not the answer. Banning books is not the answer.
Yeah.
Like censoring people is not the answer. Educating people, helping people is the answer.
Yes.
That kind of thing.
If we're talking about preventative care, not basically...
Not not emergency care?
Not emergency care. Yeah, but actually, I think I said that too. As I was
preventative care, not punishment?
Right.
All right.
Honestly, I don't really care anymore. Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I was like, what do you mean nothing? So just like, what do you mean nothing? She's done a horrible thing to you.
No,
And to me too.
No.
I just don't want to start shit again. If it's gone quiet, maybe it'll just stay quiet if I don't start anything.
Right.
That's what I'm getting from
That's what I'm getting from this as well, is like terror.
I don't really have language for this, but if it stopped, I don't want to go restart it. I'm going, but you, justice and vengeance. And you go, but if that was their last hurrah, and I don't do anything about it, and they never come back, then I don't need to do more about it.
So this was actually kind of an issue. So in regards to my family, so we're going to go off on another tangent again, was that, so my dad basically lost his business to a fraudulent case with his business manager for my dad's business, right? So he's a doctor.
And
the guy ended up stealing basically a ton of money from my family.
So he was embezzling.
Yep, he was performing embezzlement. And my parents made the decision not to engage with it out of, I almost think like basically a level of like fear of retribution, or that there were retaliation or something else that would happen. Like they had a ton of information. They had a lot of people going, you could totally go after this guy, whatever else. And they were really like pulling Burns' thing of going, we don't want to antagonize anyone. Eventually, you'll get what's coming to you. And that is not a thing that that I encourage to do, because at least for me, obviously I've got experience with it of going, it's not going to stop. It's kind of like that thing of going, oh no, eventually somebody else will come
Right.
along and solve the
So
problem.
it's different if you go, there's a problem that keeps happening and I'm not dealing with it anymore.
Right.
And then if you go, hey, my whole life has seemed quiet. She hasn't been bothering you. She hasn't been bothering me.
Yeah.
You know, even my friends and everything, you know, kind of thing. And going, yeah, probably Cindy has not stopped being a popular bully that everyone, you know, goes to for bullying.
Right.
I say, but I feel Byrne very much going I just don't want things to start up again actively because I
Yes.
did it. On the other hand, I also feel your parents there very briefly just going, we stopped it because the business is shut down. He no longer works with us. We've cut our losses kind of thing.
Right.
And while they didn't know how to proceed forward, I've also been in cases before where legal things, I didn't know how to proceed forward either. And sometimes you're just so daunted by the magnitude of it, and especially if it's something where there could be like lawyer fees and cases and stuff like that,
Right.
you're just going, I don't know if I have the energy for this.
I mean, and I get that. My parents ended up having to declare bankruptcy. It was a huge thing. They lost everything, including our house.
Yeah.
So it really sucked. But that's where I'm just like, I feel frustrated and I feel Byrne, but I'm also like that other person going, like with Mark going, do something, you know, because
Still.
it's still that thing of going like, but I also feel like basically our society doesn't empower people. So like you mentioning, you know, going like, I don't have the energy, I don't have the resources. Lawyers cost a lot of money.
And
know?
sometimes you really don't know how to approach lawyers. Like learning how to file a lawsuit and find a lawyer can be very challenging. And just like the way capitalism drives everyone to make decisions that are dominantly about money and nothing else, you will find essentially lawyer firms that are not advantageous to you, that are not following what would normally be processed, where they're more willing to take advantage of you. They're going, well, yeah, pay fees and do things first.
Right.
And you can find other lawyers that are going like, no, I'll split, like your fees will be covered in the case I'm suing for your fees as well. And other people going, well, yeah, you will pay all these fees up front. Then if things go well, you will pay these other fees as well.
Right.
And there's just different things. It's like sort of like self-publishing things and stuff.
Right.
I've run into lawyers who go, I won't take the case unless I'm confident with it, and I won't charge you for a consultation.
Right.
And other ones are going, even to walk in my door, it's going to cost you $100.
Yeah.
And so there's that of going, I don't know how to start this anyway.
Yes. Anyway, keep going. I know, but getting payback for what she's done to us only adds more drama.
So she is.
And that would not be good. I really, no, that's
I just don't want to start things if they're settled down.
Yes, and that's the last thing I want in my life is more drama. God, I've got so much drama. No, not you guys, though. You guys are fine. It's okay. It's fine. I just don't want that drama, that kind of issue, those kind of problems. Like, you know, with Jonathan and Cindy, not with any of you guys. You guys are fine.
It's okay. Like, it's fine.
It's okay. You can put Phoenix down.
Sorry, I'm just like, I'm trying to, but I love that. It was fun. Anyway.
It was great.
All right, so you've got your friend Kayla going, well, Byrne, it's okay. You know what? Just calm down. We're going to be all right. You know what? Let's focus on doing something fun. Looks at the two guys. You cannot let her think too hard about herself.
Damn it.
She might realize she's dead. Okay,
you bitch.
It's interesting sometimes trying to balance a completely fictional headcanon against what's actually going on. But I really do think that in this case, Byrne is just overwhelmed and, you know, like emotionally exhausted and also very inexperienced based on how sheltered she is.
Right.
And is going, I wouldn't know, one, how to enact revenge. I wouldn't know how to deal with that big of an experience. And also going, but it stopped. Can't we just let it be stopped?
Right? Can't we just let it go? Let it go.
Let it go.
Hey,
Don't cause drama anymore. Oh.
You don't want to deal with her anymore, right, Mark?
I get your point.
Yeah, you're right. And I think that's the right decision, Byrne. Even though we didn't make a decision at all, it was actually just the character making a decision for us. But that's all right.
Us choosing whether or not to go the hell after her or not would be an amazing character choice.
I really
you
would.
have to have a longer tree, you know, on the flowchart. You really would. It would be worth it, I think.
Honestly, it would be great.
I would totally write that tree
Kayla
in.
and Mark nod in agreement because they really just also, like, Kayla's situation is that she really doesn't want anybody to notice that we're a ghost, and that, you know, we're dead, except for the fact which we haven't noticed, of course, because Byrne has no idea that Byrne is dead. And then in this case, you know, Mark going like, okay, well, he doesn't really like drama either, and this this is also why he hasn't done it, and he was kind of looking forward to someone else sort of doing it for him, because he doesn't know how to approach the adults or interact with some of his reality either.
Additionally, he's not an army on his own. With 4 of you, it'd be very different than him trying to, like, basically spearhead a cause by himself.
Right.
Also, if he's a geek and his people are generally ostracized, it could be much harder for him to get support anywhere.
It's true.
There we go. All right. They nod agreement. Kayla going, yes, please put this down. Let Vern think about something else.
Yep, something else. Thanks, guys. The bell rings and we all have to go to class.
I love how everything that happens at school ever always gets cut off by the bell rings.
I know, it's
like,
so bad.
That's how you know when the scene ends, and that's how they go, this conversation is done with. It can't just end because you're done talking to each other. It's because you have to be pulled apart by the bell.
Right.
As if no one ever stops engaging or having a conversation unless there's some outside force stopping it.
No. Like, as if, conversations sometimes also don't just naturally come to an end anyway. There are some things you just can't continue talking about. It just happens. I've got to go to algebra. I'll wait for you after school.
He will, apparently.
I give him an okay sign as we are all running to our class. And
Someone,
if you do this...
somewhere. It's everybody. No running in the halls. Everybody watches you run in the halls. No running in the halls. All right, sorry.
Halls.
Oh no, it's this one
When
again.
I'm about to pick up my notebook from my locker, I notice, the signs that all say, be careful of glass and be careful of the fact that there's no more window, because that's where Ben sort of just careened through it and smashed
the window, carefully taped off with scotch tape, the glass all swept up, but just in case. And also a sign, no jumping through windows. Mind the windows.
Mind the
I
windows.
love, it's very thoughtful. It's on you to understand it. It just says mind the windows.
Pick up my notebook from my locker. I hear someone running up to me.
Shh. Okay.
Mark! What are you doing?
I'm out of breath. It's really bad. I don't.
Don't you have to go to class?
I do.
He pants and stops for a while to catch his breath.
But I just want to make sure that you're okay.
My eyebrows furrow as I try to understand what he means, because I don't understand why people necessarily would care about me, because I'm the one who's usually always caretaking for everyone else and all their feelings and all their experiences and, what's going on in their lives. But why would anyone want to care for me? I'm fine. I've got it together. I never get in anyone's way, and I never cause anybody any distress at all. And,
You're all right. I just thought I'd check on your locker again, because, if anything happened, and if anyone tried to start trouble with you. But mostly I wanted to make sure I didn't offend you by trying to make you, do something earlier you didn't want to do.
Oh, I see. Why would I not be fine in algebra class?
Because of that?
He points at Cindy and her minions who are walking towards
Him!
us.
Across the entire school on like the 3rd or 4th floor where they are. Sees Cindy, pep, radar. He's like, in the way that they're all very good hunters, so they're aware of things,
yes.
kind of thing. And it's just like, bolts it through everybody, books it across the school.
Everybody, ow!
Yes,
You just walked all over everybody.
You just ran into everybody. Everyone on the other side of the hall. Everyone and everybody from the same family, cousins, they hate each other.
They do. They completely hate each other. I love that. That's so beautiful.
And he just slides up going, I am here to help you with that shit.
Hi.
She, might want to bully you again.
Cindy and her minions are in the same class as me.
Oh, really? What if they try to do something to you in class since there are no teachers or adults?
This seems like a weird, abnormal level of paranoia that suddenly has come upon Mark, as if, we haven't been in algebra class with Cindy then previously this whole damn time. What's changed?
So this could be an experience of he doesn't know you that well yet. Again, you've only met last week.
I know, but
he doesn't know your schedule. So he really just sees this and goes, shit, it's happening. It's going down at the lockers, runs across the school. And then you're like, we've always been in class together. And him going,
Oh, shit.
Well, what if she tries to do something in class? No, we've always been in class together. Oh, because it takes you a second to absorb context sometimes.
But also at the same time too, hang on, yeah, like I'm hearing somebody in the ether here in the future going like, but you guys, they just found out about this only now she got bullied, so it would make sense, so I apologize. That does actually still work. It just kind of threw me off for a minute going like, hang on, but why would they try to do the what? But this is a thing, and it's like, oh, Cindy's always been a bully, but Cindy's just been in your class, and she's never specifically bullied you before.
She's only recently targeted you in reference to Ben.
Okay, well, that's fair. They could try bullying us, though, in the next one, because guess what? We are at the end. So thank you very much, guys, then, for joining us. If you like what we do, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe, and please also feel free to share our videos with somebody that you think might have a good time with them, because that is what we are here for. Yay! Other than that, though, if you would like to support us, please feel free to go check out our Ko-Fi or Patreon. We've got some links in the description down below. And then I have been Scandal.
And I have been Lies. And it was great playing with you. Bye!